Absolutely, and that seems to be what they're moving towards, is maybe just top 15 guys in the NBA.
Yes.
We'll see if those changes are made. I do want to get to, though, another interesting part of Commissioner Silver's press conference where he was asked about shortening the season, the possibility of that. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I'm not against potentially changing the format of the season, even possibly shortening it a bit, if we can demonstrate that that's going to have a direct impact on injuries. And for example, last season, we played 10 fewer games and essentially had no impact. We want to make sure we have a system where our best players are incentivized to be on the floor. At the same time, we obviously don't want to see them injured. And so what we're hoping is we can all work collectively, the 30 teams together in a non-competitive way, together with our Players Association, and figure out what is optimal on these players' bodies so that they're incentivized to play but aren't overdoing it to the extent where they end up playing too much and pushing through injuries that ends up hurting their careers.
So yes and no. I just want to point out one thing before we get I know you're champing at the bit to talk about this, Richard, but the season was shortened last year to 72 games, but it was also compressed. So
From the
to say,
bubble.
correct. So to say that it was still, there was a number of injuries, obviously if we're talking October to June or October to April 72 games versus December to April 72 games could have a different effect. What do you think of this, Rich?
I think this is absurd. I think this is, let me, I just got to stretch here. This is my issue right here, right? Is that you have game readies, you have Normatechs. There was years ago where players used to not travel. They would not travel commercial. We have eliminated back-to-backs. We now have a week-long all-star break instead of like 3.5 days.
Yep.
And I remember guys used to have to catch flights, play the last game on Thursday, play in the game on Sunday, and then you would have a game on Tuesday, Wednesday. They have done every single thing. Every team now has sleep staffs. They have extra training staff. When I came into the league, you had 2 doubled as an equipment manager. Now you have a massage therapist that travel with teams. Now guys you want to shorten the season? Like, how much more do we have to make this coddling and all of this stuff go with the players? It makes absolutely no sense. Professional sports is not good on your body. It's supposed to separate the people that can do it from the people that can't do it. And while we do want our best product on the floor, part of greatness is longevity. That's what Michael Jordan, that's what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that's what LeBron James, all of these guys, we talk about their greatness over a long period of time. And to keep eliminating this and dialing back to the point where it's like there's nothing else for the players to do. I think it is a joke. I think they should never do this. Now, if you were talking about the in-season tournament, I think that's 100% maybe if you wanted to just have a little bit more space. But this right here is the epitome of coddling players to make sure that everything is okay. On top of the fact that players are taking rest days. On top of the fact that they're taking rest days right now. So how are you going to give them rest days and then say, well, we're going to shorten it to 60 games. We're going to shorten it to 70 games. At the end of the day, they're still going to take time off.
Tell them about the money.
The money. Oh, they making all that money.
I don't think anyone else is going to be.
These are the teams. These are the owners need to get on these. It's not just the players. Don't say the players. It's literally, I've seen guys have a thumb injury and not be able to play in back-to-back because they didn't want their conditioning to be off. Right? Like if you have a thumb injury, you should be in conditioning. And I'm going to stop because I'm getting too excited here. But the fact that we want to talk about shortening the season now with all of this stuff, you tore your ACL. I've missed time before this. And it ain't just because of that. If guys aren't conditioning 24 hours a day to make sure that their bodies are taken care of, that's on them and that's on the team. But shortening the season, you're going to mess with records. You're going to mess with numbers. You're going to mess with so much of our basketball because this group or the way that's handled right now can't handle it. I'm off that.
Yeah, and carry on.
There we go.
Carry on.